Right, so I am. Are we going live? Where is it? Yes, I'm live today with a student, and I'm going to be giving her a GCSE French French writing class. So basically, the young lady in question has already had an hour where we've kind of gone over the most common spelling problems that emerge when you're doing this kind of work. So can I make absolutely clear, whenever you are doing any writing, you still need to hear what you're going to be saying before you write it. Everything I've said about the method being, in your ears is still going to completely hold true. So for example, when you write a postcard or an email or a letter in English, you can hear yourself saying it. So don't start looking at your page and try and think, how am I going to write I was saying or something to that effect. You still find it with the vowels, you still find it with the sound, you still do everything you've been doing, 3 fingers, 2. So, right then, so can I ask you kindly, can you please tell me, can you say for me, I am speaking with Luke? Lovely. So can you please spell parle for me?
P-A-R-L.
Great. What verb is parle from?
Verb.
Great. So can you give me the infinitive to speak?
Parler.
Good job.
A-R-L-E-R.
Great. So a dumb way of remembering that is verb. Okay. Good. Can you say for me, you speak, you plural? Good. Vous parlez. Great. So can you spell vous parlez, please? Can you just spell the word parler?
P-A-R-L-Z.
Good job, L-E-Z. Lovely. So can you spell I spoke? Can you say I spoke? Good job. Another parler. So these all sound the same. Parler, 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 parler. Can you spell j'ai parlé?
P-A-R-L-E-R.
That's it, E going up. So the rest of this lesson, if you hear the young lady I'm teaching refer to an E going up, she's referring to the acute accent, which means bottom left up to top right. I'm not sure if the camera reverses this, so I think this may be the wrong way around, but basically bottom left up to top right, the acute. So for example, the E that you have on écouter. Good. If we are referring to E going down, okay, that will be top left going down to bottom right, which is, I think this will probably reverse it and be the wrong way around, but this will be the graph. So for example, on words like mère. Good. So can you also now please say for me, my love, can you say I was speaking? Can you say it for me first? Good. Can you spell that for me?
P-A-R-L-A-I-S.
Good. Can you give me he was speaking? Yep.
P-A-R-L-A-I-C.
Great. They were speaking. Or it could be L if it was all women, if it was all men, they were speaking.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
P-A-R-L-A-I-E-N-T.
Great. So what we've basically found ourselves in is a situation where we have parler. Let me just type this into the notes. So we've basically got parler, which is the verb. We've got parler, which is the vous form. We've got parler, which is the past form. We've got parler, which is the je and the tu imperfect form. We've got parler, which is the he form in the imperfect, and we've got parler, which is the third person plural, the they form in the imperfect. We've also actually got one more, although I wouldn't expect you guys to have come across it at GCSE, which is parler, P-A-R-L-A-I, which is the passé simple, which is the literary written form of I said. So basically, all of these will work on the same sounds. We have to make sure we're good. Right. Can you spell one more thing for me before we crack on? Can you spell you speak? Can you say it for me before you spell it? Good. Can you spell tu parles for me?
P-A-R-L-E-S.
Great. Lovely. So can you say for me, I've just finished with Luke. Now, So what are we looking for we want higher rather than foundation. What are we looking for GCSE as well? We're looking for combinations of phrasal verbing and expressions that just show more than a literal word for word. So I have is obviously j'ai. I have spoken or I have finished. J'ai. How would you normally say I have finished?
Je finis.
Pause. So always give me the verb first. What's the verb to finish?
Finir.
Good. Spell it for me.
F-I-N-I-R.
Good. Can you say for me, I finished or I have finished?
Je finis.
Good job. J'ai fini. Lovely. So if I was going to say j'ai fini, lovely. So if I was going to say I've just finished, your tendency, what you would want to say would be j'ai juste fini or something to that effect, which is kind of not awful French, but the better structure is I come from finishing. How do we say I come? Okay, now that would be I came. So give me always, and no matter what you're doing, go to the infinitive first. What's the verb to come?
Venir.
Good job, nicely said. Notice how the young lady said venir rather than venir because she's pronouncing it with an E because there's no accent. It's not venir, it's venir, okay? Venir, great, give me I came, past tense. How many words in the past tense? Bang, bang, bang. Good, so say for me I came.
Je suis venu.
Good, well done. So she's remembered that it's a être verb. And it's, how would I spell venu if it's a lady that's speaking?
With an E.
Good, spell me the whole thing.
V-E-N-U-E.
Yeah, je suis venu for a lady. Okay, brilliant. I come is a present tense. Yeah, always be really clear where you're coming from. So I come, how am I going to say I come, present tense?
Je vends.
Pause, right. So using my system, venir, is it an A verb or a soft hard?
Soft hard.
Great, so logically, you're now going to look at the verb venir and go, don't look at what it looks like. I know I've just said look, listen to it. Venir, what's the soft of venir?
Vend.
You're visualizing the end. If I gave you the sound venir, what's the soft? What's the sound that you hear before the near in venir? That's it. Je veux is another verb, isn't it? It's I want. So it's one of those that we call the twisters. Do you remember the twisters? It's where we have to change the top three and the bottom, number 1, 2, 3, and 6. So je, tu, il, and il plural. So the word is je viens. Okay. So the way we remember this is bien, like très bien. Okay. And we're now going to say that with a V sound. So say for me, I come.
Je viens.
Tu, and as you know, the top three, the same. Je viens, tu,
Tu viens.
il.
Viens.
Good. Now, nous and vous on twisters remain the same. So if the verb is venir, what's we come? In other words, we don't do anything clever. We just do what's expected. If we've got venir, how am I going to say we come?
Nous viendons.
We don't do anything clever. What's the verb to come?
Venons.
That's it. Nous venons. Nous venons because the verb is venir, so nous venons. Great. If I've got vous, what's it going to be? We don't do anything clever on nous and vous for twisters. What are we going to do for the vous? Good job. Vous venez. So it's like the verbs vouloir. Instead of saying vous, voulons, voulez, voulez, we say ve, voulons, voulez, veulent, or pe, pouvons, pouvez, peuvent, which basically means that the nous and the vous will be completely unaltered, and the other 4 will be, well done, Luke, you can't even take 2 from 6, the other 4 will be unaffected. So and what also happens is the hard sound will be applied at the bottom one. So what that means is the change that took place, vient, is going to take place in the bottom one. So it's only because it's now going to have an ENT on the end of it, we're actually going to double up the N. We're going to be saying it in a hard way. So when you say for me, they come, ils viennent.
Ils viennent.
So come with me, je viens, tu viens, il vient.
Je viens, tu viens, il vient.
Nous venons.
Nous venons.
Vous venez.
Vous venez.
Ils viennent.
Ils viennent.
E-I-E-N-N-E-N-T. Now, in your writing, and I've got some past papers I'm going to send you in a second so that you can open them and we can talk through them. Anything you've done in the past, so it might say, you know, describe, you know, your life as a student or talk about your friends or whatever you say. So I went to the park. How would you say I went to the park normally?
Je suis allé au parc.
Spot on, well done. Notice that she got both the je suis allé because it's an extra verb, the be there because it's a young lady speaking as opposed to a guy, allé, A-L-L-E, with the acute, the going up. Finish. Au parc because it's a masculine park. Good. How would you say I've just gone? And the way you say this in French is I come from going to the park. So how do you say I come from on its own?
Je viens.
Good. Give me the from. Good. Give me the verb to go now.
D'aller.
Good job. And can you hear she linked that beautifully? Je viens d'aller. Good. So can you give me I've just been to the park?
Je viens d'aller
Good.
au parc.
Give me you've just worked with Luke. You using to you come from working with Luke.
Je viens
You come from, tu viens
de travailler
avec.
avec lui.
Great. So tu viens de travailler avec Luke. Great. Okay. So that's what you would basically have. Okay. So this is a nice little thing to use. Incidentally, if you wanted to be clever and said, oh, 3 years ago, I had just moved to London, you would say, I was coming from moving. So let's remind ourselves, what is the, how many fingers do I need in a was verb? Good job. What sound do I need on all the endings in a was verb, unless I'm dealing with eon or ea? What sound do I need?
A.
Good job. What's the verb venir? Is it a verb or soft hard?
Hard.
Great, which means I'm going to find the hard and then add my a ending. So how would you say I was coming? The verb is venir. How? Yep.
Je venais.
That's all it is. That's all it is. If you want the was, you either use the a, so manger. How would you say I was eating?
Je mangeais.
Great. If you've got a soft hard verb, find the hard in it and then go to the add the a. Okay, so je venais, tu venais, il venait. Nous venions, except nous and vous are different. Great. So I had just arrived at the party. Je venais d'arriver à la fête. Great. Okay, so let's just keep je viens de as one of the that's something that's going on my Gcse writing power sheet that will be in the description for this video and that I'll obviously be sending my lady student. So she's got that to look at to revise. So give me I've just understood. In other words, I come from understanding.
Je viens de comprendre.
Great. Okay, lovely. So say for me, I've just understood it.
Je viens le.
Now, give me the, now, here's, what's the slogan we use? I'll write it out. Bits before verbs unless an infinitive. And what this means is bits are obviously any bit of the sentence which isn't the verb. So that would be the pronouns. So I come from doing it is going to be I come from. So if we say je viens, I've just understood it. So if I said comprendre, let's look at je viens de comprendre. Is comprendre an infinitive?
Yeah.
Right. So if I'm saying bits before verbs, then what that means is tu me, je te, je lui, nous, whatever you want to do, whatever those bits are, they are going to go before the verb. So je te parle, je t'ai parlé, je t'avais parlé, whatever's going to go on. Those two are going to come together. If you said I've just spoken to you, je viens de te parler, you're going to put the little word that's necessary, the pronoun, before the long form now, before the infinitive. So how would you say I've just understood it? If you don't know the gender of it, do you assume male, female, or plural?
Male.
Good job. When I'm saying I understand it, is it direct or indirect? In other words, is it my hand clap, le, la, les, or is it my pointing, lui and le? Which one is it? Which one is it?
Direct.
Direct, exactly. And if it's masculine, which one is it going to be?
No.
Good job to say I've just understood it.
Je viens de le comprendre.
Lovely. I've just bought it. Let's say we were talking about a dress.
Je viens de m'acheter.
Great. You've got a GCSE question. You know, talk about, you know, how important is image for whatever, okay? Or how important is, you know, what do you think, you know, what do you think of the internet? Oh, well, you know, I run a vlog or I have a Facebook account, you know, I have a new phone, I've just bought it. So if you've got a phone, how are you going to say, I've just bought it? I come from buying it.
Je viens de m'acheter.
Well done. Did you see how she linked that beautifully? Je viens de l'acheter. Okay, so that is a clever structure that we can use. That's just going to something else that we can, you know, we can use to impress. Great. So lovely. I am happy that you have asked that question. So let's just quickly, let's look while we're there. So I'm going to post you this as an email straight away. This is some of the typical sort of questions. Remind me, do you do AQA or EdXL? Do you know which board you do?
AQA.
AQA, brilliant. So I'm sending you last year. I thought you did. So I'm sending you last written. Yeah. So we're going to have a look at some of the questions and we can think how we're going to answer them. Okay. So just give me 1 second. So I'm posting it to you now. There's your email. There's the link. So when that comes through, are you near your computer now at all?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So if you could just open that up whenever that comes through, tell me when it's open and click on it when it's open. In the meantime, you keep speaking for me. So I'm just going to read off what some of the questions are. So So right. So question 1.1. So I'm going to read the French and you're going to translate it for me. Vous décrivez là où vous habitez pour votre blog. Okay. What is vous décrivez là où vous habitez pour votre blog? What does that mean? What does vous décrivez mean?
You describe.
Lovely. Là. If it's got la with an accent on it, what does that mean?
Sure.
There. Yeah. Say for me, he's there. Il est là. Yeah. Où vous habitez? What does où vous habitez?
Where you live.
Pour votre blog.
For your blog.
Great. So it's got décrivez, colon. Votre ville et ses attractions. Votre ville et ses attractions. What does that mean?
Your city and its attractions.
Lovely. Well done. Next one. Les aspects positifs et négatifs de votre maison.
Positive and negative aspects of your house.
Okay. Une visite récente à votre ville.
A recent visit to your city.
Okay. Où vous voulez habiter à l'avenir.
Where you want to live in the future.
Okay, great. Lovely.
I have it open now.
What did you? That's opened, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So if we looked at that one first, okay, we're just going to talk about how we can jazz our answers up a little bit. Okay. So what basically makes a sentence simple is if you follow the verb, subject, verb, object. Now, there's nothing wrong, particularly for those of you who are aiming for foundation, to do that. But we are looking at ways that we can obviously increase that. So with the young lady that I'm teaching, we've obviously talked about the 5-point star, which is a system I've used before. The video has been up, which is basically comment on the question, give it some words which will introduce or you know, guide us around. So to begin with, whatever, then make a bold statement, then give a bit more detail, and then give something personal. So lovely. Right. So if I'm saying, let's go section by section. So if it says, vous décrivez là où vous habitez pour votre blog. Okay. So I've taught my students to just come out with something really useful in the first one. So how would you say, I'm happy that you have asked me this question?
Je suis contente que vous m'ayez posé cette question.
So this is a well-trained student. She's learned the subjunctive. She's got that down. So I'm just going to write that out for those of you who are a little bit unsure about that. So if it was, I'm happy that you are asking present tense, then that would be the subjunctive. Je suis content que vous posiez cette question. Now, etc. I'm going to finish that off. If you are, let's make this absolutely clear. You do not need to use the subjunctive at GCSE, but as I tell everybody, questions naturally invite you to use either the present or the past. That's pretty much what all they ask you to do. Okay, this question is actually quite helping you, because if you look further down, where would you like to live in the future? Oh, great. It's asking you to talk about the future. We've got two ways of talking about the future. We've got three ways. We've got I'm going to, we've got the I will, or the I would. So by all means, you know, if I could do this, I would do this. So there's all kinds of ways for you to show off your grammar. So you want to go into as many tenses as possible. So if it's I'm happy, you have asked, je suis content. Some of you know heureux or heureuse, but let's not obsess about that. Content is completely fine. Je suis content que vous m'ayez subjunctive posé cette whatever question, carrying on. If you really wanted to say something that would impress, you could say, I like this question, j'aime cette question, je suis content que vous l'ayez posée, and because the le of the le has come before the third word of posé, you'd have an extra e on posé. That would really be impressive. Yeah, that would be like if you're talking about a feminine question, so je suis content or content. I'll do it for me for the moment, que vous l'ayez posé. And you'd have an extra e on posé, because that would be the preceding direct object. That would be like, wow, this person is on for an A star. Okay, good. But let's just go back to our answer then. So lovely. So lovely. So let's go section by section. So describe where you live and whatever. So you give me a sentence about London and its attractions. You just give me a basic. So what are we going to do to introduce things?
Tout d'abord.
Lovely. So tout d'abord, give me another one. Pour commencer. Lovely. So tout d'abord, pour commencer. Lovely. Say where you live.
J'habite au nord-ouest de Londres.
Great. So we've already gone up them. J'habite à Londres. We've gone up from j'habite au nord-ouest de Londres. How am I spelling nord-ouest?
N-O-R-D-E-S-T.
Yes, so there's the hyphen, yeah. Yes, the hyphen, yeah. Yeah, okay, lovely. Lovely. So j'habite au nord-ouest de Londres. So if you, it would probably be a good idea if you knew where you lived in a town. I don't suppose the examiner, if they knew where you were based, could exactly call you out as a liar. But if you basically made sure you knew nord, nord-est, west, sud-west. What am I about? Hang on. Nord, nord-est, est, sud-est. I can't do the compass points. What are we doing? Southwest, so sud-west, west, northwest. Yeah, no. So if you basically work your way around the compass, you know what you're dealing with. Okay, lovely. How would you say near the center? Because you don't live on the mega outskirts. How would you say near the center?
Près du centre.
Lovely. How am I spelling près?
P-R-E-down-S.
Great. So be very careful with the word près, because we've got près meaning ready, as in the sandwich shop. Well, other food, prêt à manger, which has got one accent, and près, which is your hat, your circumvent, and près as in I am ready. Je suis prêt. And près as in near is près with the going down accent, with the grave. Okay, good. So how would you say near to central London? Sorry, so would you give me again near to the center?
Près du centre.
Now, what's the middle word you use there, près? So if you're saying near to the basic word for near is près de. What's the word for the center?
Le centre.
So if I've got de and le, what's going to happen there? What did de and le form?
Du
That's it. So is it près de centre or près du centre?
centre.
There you go. Be really careful with that. That should be one of the things that when you read back your answer that you basically check on. You know, look for du centre, look for the O's, look for all of this business. Like I said, anytime you use le, la, les in a sentence, after de or after a, it will join to make o, a la, and o, aux, or du, de la, or des, unless your le, la, les represented a person. So if you said, we've just said, I've just understood it, je viens, or a thing, je viens de le comprendre, because here it is a pronoun representing something. If it just means blooming the, it's going to become du. Great. So I live in London. Lovely. So you just give me an overview now in English what you think London's attractions are.
Il y a plus à faire.
Say that again. Il y a beaucoup
À faire.
Good. Il y a beaucoup de. Yeah. So could we say beaucoup de choses à faire? Could we push it up?
Sorry,
There are lots of things to do.
il y a beaucoup de choses à faire.
Now this adding or taking away is up to you, because you basically want to be working out, you know, how many words you've got. As a general piece of advice, I would always say, write in a kind of column system, so you know how many lines you've got, know how many words you're writing per line, so you can roughly keep an eye on it. Don't go mad because you want to answer all of those points. You want to basically get a sentence in for each of those points, you know, so that it's no good being brilliant in question one, you know, well, you know, my ancestral home resides within northwest London, subsequent to a period of whatever post-war expansion. It doesn't matter. If you've not gone on to answer the rest of the question, we're not impressed. So basically, don't go over. So this business of adding a few words or taking a few words away, that's for you to play around with at the end, but it's just so you've got them there. Great. Okay, lovely. So why has London got attractions? What is it about London? What is London in England as a whole? What kind of city is it? It's the
capitale.
Lovely. So c'est la ville capitale. Lovely. Okay. How do you say of my country? Lovely, you're already showing a bit more vocabulary. Seeing as, or because it's the capital city, vu que c'est le pays, la ville capitale. Lovely. Now, why do we love exam papers when they're written? Because we can just copy the words on the question. Get in the words. It's asking about attractions. So there's both. So you could say there's lots of attractions. So vu que, seeing as, or parce que c'est la ville capitale, il y a beaucoup d'attractions. Say for me, I'm happy that there are lots of attractions, because you're basically saying there are lots of attractions, and then you're just going to say like, comme, you know, le Palais de Buckingham or le Pont de Londres or London Bridge. Sorry, Tower Bridge. In French, Tower Bridge. For those of you that aren't from London, Tower Bridge is the big main one, you know, with the bit that lifts up. And in French, that is le Pont de Londres, or the Bridge of London. London Bridge, for those of us that live in London, is a bridge further down, further in coast, further west from there, which is basically what everybody goes to and goes, is this London Bridge? Because they expect that from languages. So the point is, Tower Bridge and London Bridge are different. We don't care though, but we're writing something interesting. So we're saying, I'm happy there's lots of attractions. So how would you say there are as a normal expression?
Yeah.
How do you say I'm happy that there is? And what is I'm happy? What is I'm happy? Good. And what kind of sentence is it? Good. So it's going to invite the subjunctive next, pushing it for higher. I mean, you know, we are pushing this candidate because we want good grades. So I'm happy that there is. Je suis content qu'il y ait. So we've talked about all the different A spellings, the different A endings. Could you spell for me the subjunctive A if it's the third person he?
AIT.
Good job. So we've got AIE, AIES, the two AIT. Je suis content qu'il y ait. Say for me lots of attractions. Which is going to become de plus attraction. Now you are very good personally at going de into a verb. D'aller, you're very good at. What's de and attraction going to become? Yeah, use your oral system before you write. It's because the candidate's probably thinking, how am I spelling that? Il y a beaucoup d'attraction. Okay, good. Now, what gender is attraction if it ends ION? Great. So if you've got a definite, woohoo, we know the gender, why not stick an adjective on? How do you say there's lots of interesting attractions? Yes, I mean, yes, I'm happy that there are. Je suis content qu'il y ait. Beaucoup d'attractions. What's the word for interesting in this case? Now, if it's feminine, okay, lovely, okay. So Ryan Birdside has joined us, and Now, Ryan Burnside has joined us, which is very nice in the group. Ryan, if you're saying this, il y a beaucoup d'attractions, because if you use des, yeah, des is de and les. So I've made this point before. Say for me, please. Would you please say for me, I've got lots of friends?
J'ai beaucoup d'amis.
Great. How would you say lots of the friends that I have? How would you say lots of the friends? So lots
Beaucoup
of the is my of. What's the plural? What's the word for the? Lay. So what did de and lay form? So don't use a day unless you mean plural of the. Lots of friends. How would you say lots of friends then? When there's no lots of the friends, it's just lots of friends. Say that for me.
beaucoup d'amis.
Good job. D apostrophe. How would you say lots of the friends? How would you say that? So all right then. How would you say exactly, Ryan? How would you say the plural word for the? Lay. Good. If you put a de before a lay, what does that form? Good job. So beaucoup des amis. Yeah. Do you understand? You only use des if you've got. Okay. Say for me, lots of people in 3 words using the word personne.
Beaucoup de gens.
Good. But I mean, in this case, you've used de gens, but use personne just so we're all clear. Beaucoup.
Beaucoup de personnes.
Good. So be clear in your vowel. Beaucoup de personnes. Not of the people that live in London. What would be of the people? What's that going to be? Not de, but what's the other word now? Made up of de and lay. It's going to be beaucoup. That's it. So don't confuse the two. Great. Lovely. Okay. So exactly. So if you've got great. So if you've got there are lots of interesting attractions. Il y a beaucoup d'attractions intéressantes. Because attraction, is it feminine?
Yeah.
Is it plural?
Yeah.
So one of the things you've got to do is when you've gone back and checked your stuff, check every adjective matches every noun. Great. Beaucoup d'attractions intéressantes. Then you could just put the word like. What's the word like? As in like me, comme. Good job. Don't confuse comme and comment. So, je suis content qu'il y ait beaucoup d'attractions intéressantes, comme le château, whatever, the Tour de Londres, the Tower, Tower Bridge, whatever, le Palais de Buckingham, Westfield. If you're not sure, here's a really great technique. Use something with a noun, a proper name, which doesn't need translating. What do you think the French is for Westfield? Because it's a proper noun, exactly. If you've got Buckingham Palace, it's Le Palais de Buckingham, because it's like the word that we'd have in French. If it's a noun, yeah. So, say for me. So don't just say there are lots of shops. That would be boring. So that would be my boring sentence. Why don't we try saying lots of my favorite shops are based in London or find themselves in London? So how would you say lots of my favorite shops? No, you're being sensitized to the day. But now, if you've got lots of my, that's fine just to use the normal word for of. How do you say lots of my?
Beaucoup de magasins.
Lots of my. Beaucoup de. How do you say my shops if they're plural?
Beaucoup de magasins.
Lovely. Now, Ryan has written beaucoup de mes magasins que j'aime sont à Londres. Okay, what I would kind of want, lots. If you're going to say lots of the shops that I like, then that would be lots of the. So again, remind me again, what would be the word for of the? In one word. Good job. So beaucoup des magasins que j'aime sont à Londres. Lovely. How would you say lots of my favorite shops? Now, this is where we can show off. What's the word for what's the 2 words I can use for favorite? Beaucoup de mes magasins. What are my 2 words for favorite?
Okay.
Great. Is shop Masculine or feminine? Don't give me the answer. Just say for me a shop.
magasin.
Good job. So don't learn genders. Learn the pronunciation and it will give it you. So if you're saying un magasin, is it masculine or feminine?
Masculine.
Great. So let's now, okay, beaucoup de mes magasins préférés. And is it plural?
Yeah.
So what we need to do, and I'm just going to try and find the link for anybody that's looking, is we need to look at the word préféré because this is a massive, massive verb that comes up in Gcse. So what is the infinitive of the verb to prefer?
Préféré.
Great. How do we spell préféré?
P-R-E going up. S-E going up.
That's it. How do we say, so if you said my preferred shops, mes magasins préférés, P-R-E going up, F-E going up, R-E going up, and then either an extra E or an extra S. But the point is it'd be préféré. Isn't it the same thing 3 times? If you say I prefer, would you please say that for me? I prefer.
Je préfère.
Listen to how delicious that was. So question 1 with accent, and anybody listening to this back, you'll hear she's got a very clear voice. Did she say préfère or did she say préfère? So question 1, was she above the line or below the line? Was she or Which would you say? Would you say you were above the line for the second vowel? Yep.
Yeah.
But would you say you were quick or slow? Were you préfère or préfère? Was it slower or faster on the second one? So je préfère, what accents am I going to have on the second E?
Going up.
If it's slower, good. So I prefer is je préfère. Okay, je préfère. Okay, that you've got to be really careful with. Okay, so if you say I prefer, so my favorite shops, mes magasins préférés. Ching, 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 acute, up. I prefer, je préfère. Really common error. Okay, good. Okay, so lots of the magazine shops I prefer. What's something else we want to try and do if we're going on to higher rather than foundation? Try and throw in a few reflexive verbs. So instead of saying are based, sont basés à, or are, sont, why don't we say find themselves? How do you say my favorite shops find themselves?
Mes magasins préférés.
Good. Se trouve. So because it's a he or she or a they. Okay. Lovely. So Ryan, you've written mes magasins préférés. You need to remember it's plural, fella. So mes magasins préférés, there's an S after that E. Okay. So se trouve. Great is the infinitive. Se trouve. Okay. Great. Se trouve. T-R-O-U. How am I spelling find themselves? How am I spelling se trouve? How am I spelling trouve? Great. Lovely. Okay, lovely. Excellent then. Okay. Let's do some more reflexive work while we're there. So let's just go back to our I don't think I popped the link to the exam paper in here. I don't think I have. Anyway, there we go. So let's have a look at the exam paper. So if we said the positive aspects are negative, negatives about your house. So let's look at that one. So what's automatically great about this one is in fact, this is quite an easy paper because it's basically getting you to do all the stuff that I normally try and get you guys to do, which is to give both sides of the argument. So how do you say on one hand, or first of all, tout d'abord, or d'un côté from one side? How do you say on the other side, de l'autre côté? Or give me the 2 words which mean on the other hand, or going the opposite direction, 2 that begin with P? Pourtant, good job. And what's the other one? And par contre. Yeah? Lovely. So Ryan's given me à mon avis, which is a great introducer. That's lovely. But going the opposite way, it would be par contre. Okay, par contre. Okay, lovely. Excellent. So if we've then got, so that's great then. So it's saying the positive aspects on the other hand. Okay. If you're talking positive aspects, you're saying something that makes you happy. or I'm happy that, or it makes me happy. So what is making me happy? It is happiness is what? It is an emotion, yeah?
Emotion.
Yeah. Negatives are feeling bad, feeling sad is an emotion. So basically, if you, okay, I'm not saying you have to have the subjunctive every time, but if you're saying, you know, I'm happy, there's lots of attractions. Je suis content qu'il y ait beaucoup d'attractions. How would you say, on the other hand? How would you say, Priya Mukherjee is asking me, is Gcse equivalent to Delph B1? No, it's beneath that. But I'm not talking about that right now. Okay, so if you say, on the other hand, so pourtant, de l'autre côté, give me a negative aspect about London. Say, there's too many people, yeah? Yeah? Or you tell me in English, tell me something bad about London.
Yeah, too many people, too noisy.
Or if we're talking about the bad things about your house, which I think is what it originally said, tell me something bad about where you live, about your house. Like, oh, it's really lovely, my mom's got it beautiful, but, you know, we need an extra bathroom. Or give me something you could change about your house if you wanted to.
Yeah, could have an extra bedroom.
Okay. So say for me, I'm sad that my house is small.
Ma maison.
Spot on. For those of you that are following, what she's just expertly done is use the subjunctive. This is a class to get you into higher. I'm not saying you can't pass GCSE foundation or even higher without using the subjunctive, but we're just trying to get the kind of, this is a candidate that's got great vocabulary. This is a candidate that can structure. This is a candidate that's been taught on how to basically extrapolate and really push for the best style sentences. Yeah, it's not that she's incapable of coming up with an answer herself. This is what this class is about. So however, I'm sad that my house is small. Je suis content que ma maison soit petite or trop petite or whatever. Say for me, we have. Normal, we have. Say for me, I'm sad that we have subjunctive. That's it. Find it on the subjunctive. So je suis triste que nous ayons. Lovely. Okay, good. Hi, M. Hashmi, who's just joined. So basically, if we've got them, and for those of you that aren't sure what we're doing, this is the subjunctive, the present subjunctive. If you cannot find this, then please email me, logiclanguagelearning@gmail.com, and I will send you the video links to the subjunctive. Right then, so carrying on. I want to make one other thing that's really pushy, and we're kind of talking as well about the kind of stuff that you want to get in one great bit and then just speak normally. So remember that emotion is the subjunctive. There are other ways of showing emotion other than just I am happy that. You can say it makes me happy. It doesn't matter whether you say I am happy or, you know, Jonathan, Michael, Graham, Louise, whoever it is makes me happy, that would still be expressing emotion. So how would you say it makes me happy? No. Hashmi's just asked me, what are your opinions on onions? I don't know whether he's asking me about my opinions on onions, the food, or whether he basically means the spelling issue of the onions, the change in how he's spelling onions differently these days. I'm not answering this. So Ryan's said this, he's got the correct verb, but he said it wrong. So basically come up to it then. So what is the verb that we use to make somebody an emotion is rendre. What is the verb that we use to make somebody to do a verb is faire. So Luc makes me speak in French. Luc me fait parler en français. Okay? So Luc me fait parler en français. Great. If I said Luc makes me happy, is happy a verb or is it an adjective? So we don't use faire. We use rendre. Go over to rendre. Using my method, is rendre an a verb or a soft hard verb?
Soft hard.
Great. Luc, is he single, soft or plural hard?
Single.
So is it going to be Luc me rend or Luc me rende? Great. How would I spell rend? It's like prendre. So Luc makes me happy. Luc me... R-E-N-D. Great. Okay. But no, Ryan, so you've again written the infinitive. So it's going to be Luc me rend. Can I remind you that it's like prendre? So, for example, rend. Okay. Rendant, rendez, rend. Okay. The only time then that a soft verb goes hard, my darling, when does a soft verb go hard? What's the situation that we need for a soft verb to go hard? Yes, I take your point. The bottom three. I don't mean that. I mean the top three that are normally soft. That's a good answer, actually. In the great. So I am happy that Luc makes me happy. As weird as that sounds, no, that's not weird. That's quite nice. So je suis content que Luc me rende whatever. Okay. So although that's kind of doubling up on emotion, but that is basically what it would be. So how would you say I go out using the verb sortir? Spell it for me.
S-O-R-S.
Good. So, guys, we're really pushing this S-S-T business. Okay, lovely. So, how do you say it's fantastic that I'm going out, which is subjunctive because it's both in neutral. And obviously fantastic is quite woohoo. So, how do you say it's fantastic that I'm going out tonight? Do it orally first.
Soft.
Good. So subjunctive kisses goodbye to soft, hard verbs. They all go hard. Good. Exactly. So the spelling, as Ryan's beautifully put, will be, so if we say que je sorte, que tu sortes, qu'il sorte, que nous sortes, what's the subjunctive for vous, que nous sortes? Good job, que vous sortes. Good job. Qu'il. Now, with that, okay, can I just ask you to spell que je sorte, que tu sortes, qu'il sorte? Can I remind all of you that when you are conjugating, to not conjugate je sorte, tu sortes, il sorte? Your muscle memory, which is your number one tool. What did I have a moment ago when I asked the young lady to give me the gender of a word? I didn't say, is it male or female? I did, but then I corrected myself. And I said, how does it sound? Yeah, use the muscle memory. You don't want to be thinking, how do I do this? You just want your mouth to do it. So if you're accidentally going, je sorte, tu sortes, il sorte, you're going to use that instead of the soft and the hard. So whenever you're conjugating the subjunctive, make sure you practice it with the word que. Good. So can you spell for me que je sorte? Can you spell sort in this case?
S-O-R-T.
Good. Can you spell tu sortes? Subjunctive.
S-O-R-T-E-S.
Good. The sneaky S on tu, always. Good. Il sorte, qu'il sorte, in other words.
S-O-R-T-E.
Great. Okay, so sorti en sortir, that's fine. Sort, that's the same as the imperfect spellings normally, and the present tense in the they. Right, so let's go back to our other point. So a recent visit to your town, okay? Or what do you want to do in the future? Where do you want to live in the future? Now, this is a lovely thing. I'd really like to get a couple of constructions down specifically for you before we get finished. So basically, if you're talking about something let's make this absolutely clear. If you're talking about the future and you're going to use, so how would you say, I'm going to see Le Palais de Buckingham with my mom? How would you say, I'm going to see? Great. So there's nothing about using the verb to go with an infinitive that's incorrect. It's just in English. If you say I'm gonna plus infinitive, that is what you will do. Okay, lovely. Okay, Ryan, you would have capitals because although in French we're not as fond as capitals as we are in English, it's still, the Buckingham Palace needs a capital on the on the B, for example. But good, exactly. You're probably just writing that quickly now just to get it out. But be mindful of capitals when you write the exam, if indeed you're doing an exam. So, all right then. So what are we looking for constantly? What are we looking for constantly? We're looking for interesting ways to make our French more interesting for examiners. So how would you say, Buckingham Palace, I'm going to see it? How would you say that? And anybody that's watching is, anybody that's seeing Ryan saying it, yes, it's for speed. So anybody that's watching is welcome to type and have a go. So how would you say, Buckingham Palace, I'm going to see it? How would you say that?
The Palais de Buckingham. le vais.
Now, bits before verbs unless there's an infinitive. Okay? Is there an infinitive in I'm going to see?
Yeah.
Which is what?
Voir.
Great. So when we've got an infinitive, it means hello, Ali Bob's Marlon. So when we've got I'm going to see it, what will we say? Je vais.
Le voir.
So in other words, whether your brain needs to go, I'm going to pin my le. So let's do this visually. Je vais voir. Je vais le voir. Okay? Or, you know, je vais lui parler. Or first verb could be in a different sense. We were going to speak to them. Nous allions leur parler. When you've got a to form, your infinitive goes after. And you could have multiple verbs. How would you say I'm going to be able to see? Give me I'm going.
Je vais.
Give me I'm to be able to. Poo, 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 poo.
Voir.
Good. Give me to see.
Voir.
So if you wanted to say I'm going to be able to see it, je vais pouvoir le voir. You could stack even more. You could say I'm going to try to be able to see it. I mean, that's, you know, je vais essayer de, remembering that essayer takes de. This will be on your superscript sheet that I will have at the bottom of this. Essayer de, continuer, take a, commencer takes. I'm not going into it now, but side note, those of you that are revising can remind you that commencer, anytime we've got a C when it's not got the E or the I next to it, it needs the cedilla. Gaston, cedilla. J'ai reçu, cedilla on the C because it's not got an E or an I. So commencer à essayer de, décider de. Could you spell décider for me, please?
Going up.
Good job. Décider, yeah, okay. Yeah. MKO7, I really want to watch, however, I'm unable to right now. Would you be able to do live streams again soon? Yes, I'm more than happy to do one with you as well if you contact me at logiclanguagelearning@gmail.com. And also this will be available afterwards. That's absolutely fine for revision. And the revision sheets I will have available underneath. Okay, so good. So if I've got I'm going to try, so I'm going to try to do it. Je vais essayer de le faire. My point is the le or the lui or the la, whatever it comes before the last infinitive. So you've just made your I'm going to verb a little bit more easy, a little bit more interesting. How would you say I will see it? So what is my 3-beat system? Anybody that wants to write this out and impress me, what is my 3-sound system I use for the future when it's the future that uses will or shall or I'll? What's the 3 sounds I hear for that? Great, Ray Raron. And Ray Raron stands for Ray or Ray, you know, Ray, MKO7, logiclanguagelearning@gmail.com. I'll just write that for you. Yeah, we'll sort something out. I'm quite happy to do a class. Lovely. So Ray is Ray or Ray. Ra is Ra or... What's the ending for a 2? What sneaky letter do I always have on a 2? What letter goes on the end of a 2 verb? Good, so ra or ra. Ron is ron or ron. Good. So what is I will see or we will see? What's the verb to see?
See.
To see as in S-E-E, as in I will see the palace. Great. So how do you say I will see?
Je vais.
Good job. Now what this excellent candidate has just done is used an irregular future block. Okay, so in doing this says to the examiner, I ain't stupid, you know. I know that some verbs don't just go mangerai, mangera. So let's just basically make sure we've got them. So what's I will be? I will be. Great. I will. Ryan, that was I will go. What's I will go?
ferai.
Good job. I will do.
Je ferai.
Good. Heart of Comedy, welcome to the group. Je ferai. I will be able to. We ain't going to say pouvoirai. What will we say?
Okay.
Could you spell pourrait for me, please?
P-O-U-R-R-A-I.
Good girl, Priya. Good girl. Well done. Priya, one of my regulars, has just written it as well. Good. So pourrait, good. How would you say I would? Now, this is probably the one that you all know first. I would like.
Okay.
Great. So I'd like to end with two structures that are really, really important. Can I remind you? I'm going to write this out. If clause into was, then dream clause into conditional. Either with one verb or with auxiliary. So, if you said, if I spoke German, I would live in Berlin. When you say I spoke on its own, what do you feel like saying when you hear I spoke? If I just told you out of the blue to say I spoke, what would you say for me? I spoke. That's it, j'ai parlé. How would I spell parler? Great. Priya's gone into the imperfect already, but if you just on its own normally heard I spoke, normally it would be 1, 2, 3. If you've got if I spoke, so have you got the word if now?
Yeah.
In other words, see, you're gonna go imperfect. You can hear this in English. If I were you, which is basically correct English rather than if I was you, which is what people say. So if I were you, you can hear it in the imperfect. What is the imperfect was tense of the verb to speak? Je parle. Great. Ali Bob's Marland, you give me parlerai, which is the would spelling, which is where we're going. But it's remember, to find the was, Ali Bob's, what you do is you go, if your verb rhymes a, same verb. Parler, je parle. Okay? So you spelled the ending right, but it's wrong. So si je parle. So if I spoke German, I would live in Germany. What would be I would live?
Je habiterai.
Good. Habiterai starts with an open mouth. What would that give me?
J'habiterai.
Good, Priya. You've made the same mistake. Je habiterai does not exist. What does it become? J'habiterai. Could you spell that for me?
H-A-B-I-T-E-R-A-I-S.
Good. Ryan, remember it's got an S on the end because it's the would endings. Remember, the would endings are the same as the was endings, okay? The will endings are the same as the auxiliary have. A-I-A-S, great, okay? Lovely. So, Ryan, I feel we're going to have a little private. So, good. Next up then, so now let's change. So, if I wanted to eat chocolate, I would buy some chocolate. So how would you normally say, so if you've got if was anyway, so, you know, I wanted normally. So how would you say, my darling, how would you say if I wanted? So have you heard the if tense? Yes, that means what tense is coming up next? Good job. So if I wanted would be si je. Good. So if I wanted to buy some chocolate. Some chocolate. No, I didn't say some chocolates, Ryan. I said some chocolate singular. So how do I say some for something singular if it's masculine? Good job, du chocolat. And it will be chocolat, not chocolate anyway, Ryan, okay? Good, but good job. So si je voulais acheter du chocolat, how do you say I would buy some chocolate?
J'achèterai.
Great. How would I spell, what would be the last three letters of j'achèterai?
A-I-S.
Great. How would I say I would buy it?
Je l'achèterai.
Great. How would you say, Ryan, it's du chocolat. Listen, chocolat. If you're saying chocolat, you're putting an E on the end. It's not that. In French, it's chocolat, like the film or the novel, okay? Gosh, how much do we all want chocolate now? So how would you say I would buy some? What is the pronoun for some? Begins with an E. On, en. Well done, Ryan. So how would you say I? Okay, how do you say I like? How do you say I like to eat?
J'aime manger.
How do you say I like to eat it?
J'aime le manger.
How do you say I like to eat some?
J'aime en manger.
Good. And what you've done there that's beautiful is you remembered if you've got the first verb and the second verb, you're going to have the on before the infinitive. J'aime en manger. Okay. This is vital for those of you that are following the videos and are generally pushing yourself beyond GCSE. And don't stop with GCSE. Who cares if you've got a GCSE or any exam? You keep pushing. So, for example, when we start looking at je me suis, which I would like to do, je me suis, tu, t'es, il, c'est, nous, nous sommes, then you're going to add on. On is one of the most absolutely underrated pronouns in advanced French. So, for example, you're going to have verbs with on in the verbs. So, this candidate will be doing French A-level next year. So, we will be pushing, for example, je vais m'en souvenir, I'm going to remember it. Je m'en souviens. We use on loads in French, okay? We have to get good with on, okay? Ryan has written like le gérontif. Le gérontif is en A-N-T. So that's like speaking. No. Okay, I see what you're saying. That word en is completely different. That is the prepositional en rather than a pronoun en. That would be in speaking with Janine, en parlant avec whatever, okay? That would be en. That's different, okay? Lovely. Then, so if you said, so you've been asked to talk about where would you live if you had the money or where would you like to live? So you said, if I had the money, I would live in, well, you give me the city. So say for me, if I had the money, I would live in, you answer the question for me.
Si j'avais d'argent.
But if I had the money.
Si j'avais l'argent.
Lovely. I would live.
J'habiterais.
There we go. Now, notice we've got another set of pairs. So what were those pairs? Basically, notice you can switch the other way around. I would live in Monaco if I had the money. I wouldn't actually, but anyway, j'habiterais à Monaco si j'avais l'argent. You can switch them around as long as the dream comes in the would tense and the if comes in the was tense, we are fine. Right then, next up. If I had the money, I would have lived in Monaco. So basically, instead of using the, everybody's going, instead of using the imperfect and the conditional now, we're going to use the pluperfect, the had tense, and the would have tense, which is basically the conditional past. But the simpler way of thinking about it is we're still going to use the conditional, and we're still going to use the imperfect, but just on our auxiliaries. So could you please say for me, my darling, I have had, or I had, basically the three beats I had. Could you do that for me? J'ai, what's the past? J'ai eu. Good. J'ai eu. Good. Ryan, I will see you soon. Message me. We'll do some private, yeah, because you clearly need a bit of pushing. Because there's loads you know, and it would be great to push you up. Okay, so j'ai eu, logiclanguagelearning@gmail.com. So j'ai eu, great. Remember that one is pronounced U. Anything else in French, EU is E. Un petit peu, je veux, great. How would you say I had? Changing the middle word.
Si j'avais.
That's it. Had and had. I mean, that was the worst one to start her off with, and she did brilliantly. I have spoken, j'ai parlé. If I had spoken, si j'avais parlé. Only thing we need to be careful with, how do you say I left using the verb partir? 1, 2, 3. Use your fingers first. I left is an active past. Give me I left. Just.
Je suis parti.
I left. Great. And because you're a girly, what is the last letter that's going to go on parti? P-A-R-T-I-E. Yes, sorry, I was thinking in French. Yeah, E being I in French. Sorry. Je suis parti. Okay. Great. Lovely. If I had gone, what would that be? But you can't swap have for be. Great. So whatever you're talking about in your essays, describe a weekend with your friends. I had a great time. Yeah. If I had gone, with my friends another day, we would have missed whatever. Okay, that's just great grammar. Great. Spell j'étais, Priya, this is for you as well. Spell j'étais on si j'étais parti, please.
Be going up.
Great. Now, Priya, it may just be that you don't know on your keyboard how to do it. I strongly recommend you can get a European keyboard thing where you basically just type a code. Lovely. But to be honest with you, the main way of doing it is just learn to hold down the so just hold down Alt 130. Yeah. Okay. And it's just one of the easiest things to do, or Alt 133. For A, whatever. I wrote a whole, research master's degree in the which was on Spanish cinema, and the entire thing in Spanish was written with typed accents. I didn't change the keyboard onto European keyboard. I mean, it's just it's just easy to do it that way. Great. Right. So if I had had the money, si j'avais eu l'argent, how would you say I would have lived? So say for me, I lived 1, 2, 3. I lived as an action, which I know we tend to say j'habitais more often, but if you said 1, 2, 3, how would you say I have lived?
J'ai habité.
Great. How would you say I would have lived?
Je habite.
Now, no, you're putting your have in the... What's the future block of have? We've got ir and sir and all of that rubbish. What's the one for have? That's it. So or plus your ray raron. So say for me, give me I ate. Priya, je and aurais starts with an open mouth, and you should be hearing open mouth rather than vowel. So not je aurais, but j'aurais. Okay. So yeah. So if you've got, okay, say I ate. 1, 2, 3. Say I had eaten. I had eaten. I had eaten. Change the middle word.
J'avais mangé.
Good job. I will have eaten.
Je mangerai.
Okay, let me remind you. When you've got compound verbs, only the auxiliary changes. So if you've got je blank manger, je and manger don't go anywhere. So, okay, J apostrophe in this case, blank manger. So j'ai mangé, j'avais mangé. How do you say I will have eaten?
J'aurais mangé.
That's it. I would have is exactly the same, j'aurais mangé, but you've obviously got the would spelling. So basically, as long as you know the future. So if you said there is, il y a, there was, il y avait, there will be, il y aura, there would be, il y aurait. On its own, the future of have is or, isn't it? AUR plus whatever endings we've got. So all we're doing in these tenses is using or in the middle. Make sure you guys know the difference between I would eat, je mangerai, and I would have eaten, j'aurais mangé. I'm going to send you the video specifically about that, okay? Because there's that's really good to have. This is also as useful as hell, because this is the system that we use for the would, could, and should. So I should have left, j'aurais dû partir. Okay, I'm going to send you that as well so that you could possibly try and get one of those in. Brilliant. Okay. What did Priya say? Your conditional videos are excellent. I mastered it. Thank you, Priya. That's really kind of you. But this is the past conditional, the conditional past. Yeah, I would have, So basically, the conditional normally, I would eat, I would buy, I would dance, I would speak, yada, yada, yada. This is I would have spoken. And again, final rule. Okay, we'll do another one of these. The final one I'm going to say is if you've got would have and you're talking about a be verb, be stays be, have stays have. So I would have left, je serais parti. Okay, so you've got to use that. So, great thing. Oh, talk about a weekend with your friends. Oh, if I had known, you know, that it was whatever, I would have whatever. So I will send you the videos for that, and you can have a little revise before we do another one of these classes, okay? Final thing I want to kind of go over. Okay, you all right for a couple more minutes? Yep, okay. So I know you're tired, you're doing really well. So can you remind me, anybody watching is welcome to type to remind me that you know it. Some of your names I know, some of you I don't know. So basically, if you've got a verb which is the reflexive, what are the pronouns that we're going to have? Je is going to have, tu is going to have, il is going to have, nous is going to have, vous is going to have. Good job. And il is going to have. Great. Okay. Those of you that are here, if you could click thumbs up on the video, I would really appreciate it, by the way, if you are hanging around. Good. If we're going into any other tense which doesn't have an auxiliary, that's fine, isn't it? So how would you say I was, how do you say I wash myself? Present. Thank you for doing that. Great. How do you say I was washing myself? What sound do I need for was? So how would you say I was washing myself? That's really clever. That's really clever. But so this is my point. We don't go to the auxiliary tenses unless we need to. If I gave you the verb parler, how would you say I was speaking? That's it. So it's great that you're so comfortable with this, but remember, there's a tense which uses the imperfect. That's it. Je and the imperfect. If you use the imperfect in the middle, that's the had tense. Yeah, like j'étais. Do you understand? That's a different tense. So I was washing myself would be, what's if the verb was laver, is it a verb?
Yeah.
So how do you say I was washing the car? La voiture. How do you say I was washing the car?
Je me lavais.
I was. You've just given me what I need, but give me I was washing the car. Je lave. That's it. La voiture. Brilliant. I was washing myself. That's it. That's what I would want. Lovely, Priya. Well done. Yes, so that's the point. So if you're doing a reflex, okay. How do you say I will wash the car? Ray ra ron. How do you say I will wash the car?
Je laverai.
That's it. Okay. How do you say I will wash myself?
I will wash myself.
Mm-hmm.
Je me laverai.
That's it. So there's a load of tenses which don't use auxiliaries, yeah, that we come to with. I would wash myself, je me laverai. If I had the money, I would wash myself in champagne or something like that. Si j'avais l'argent, je me laverai. I wouldn't. That'd be really sticky. But and I speak as someone who's poured it over myself in a stupid moment at a party. But I look better naked in those days. So basically, time is cruel. So if you basically, now if you go into the tenses with the auxiliary, any single, I'm going to write this out, any tense with auxiliary, yeah, uses be, être, yeah, as the, if with reflexive, okay? So, Priya has written Pepsi is common here in India. I wouldn't touch Pepsi to scratch it. Although it does make a good chicken coating, but that's disgusting. So basically, lovely. So if I wanted to say I got washed, is this in the past?
I was washed.
I got washed. I washed myself. Is this in the past?
Yes.
Great. So if it's in the past, it's in my, what would normally feel would be my 3-beat past, but because there's a reflexive going on, there's 4. But what I'm saying is it's the past with the auxiliary, isn't it? Yeah? Is it reflexive?
Yeah.
So when you've got reflexive and past coming together, what's the system I like you to remember? Begins with a P and a P. What's it called? Poetry. Poetry.
The pronoun.
Poetry past. Okay. What are the poetry stand for? Go on. Good. Je me suis. Tu take. What are you doing now? Remember, I told you this is what you write out the minute you get into a written exam, so that you can then play with those and go into different tenses. So je me suis. You'd have written down, and what's the rule with auxiliary pasts or auxiliary futures or any auxiliary tense? You change the auxiliary only. So you would write down when you get into your exam, je me suis, tu t'es, il s'est. I will have this on the sheet, which will be available underneath this when I publish this video. So je me suis, tu t'es. You write down that. You then look at it. You could go, je m'étais, tu t'étais, il s'était. So je me suis, tu t'es. What's the il one, please? Il. Thank you. What is this made up of? The person, the reflexive verb, and then, no, the person, the reflexive pronoun, and the verb to be. So, je suis, je me suis, tu es, tu t'es, il est, becomes il s'est. What's the one for nous? Good girl. What's the one for vous? Good. Can I ask you to spell et for me? Great. Are you there? Okay, good. So il se sent, great. Priya, lovely to see you on the videos. Do keep an eye out for the next one. Okay, so il se sent. So basically, if I got washed, what would you say?
Je me suis lavé.
Great verb for exams is se rendre compte, to realize, okay? Or with a Z if you're an American, but realize. So how would you say so in se rendre compte, ignore compte, it's not a video. It's not like compter to count, it's just a word that goes on the end of this expression. So in the verb se rendre compte, what is you should be remembering rendre. When did we talk about rendre earlier? That makes me happy, ça me rend content, yeah? So what was the past of rendre, do you think? Think of the verb to sell.
Rendu.
Great. Luc made me happy. Luc m'a rendu contente. Okay, you'd have an E on that rendu because you're a girl, because you'd come before the third word. But if I've got I realized, I rendered myself count. Don't say j'ai réalisé. It's not the best way in French to say I realized. How are you going to say I realized? So, yeah.
Rendu compte.
Great. Je me suis rendu compte. Je me suis rendu compte. Lovely. Great. How would you say so when we look at these, you look at your charts to the left if you're doing a written exam, or not, obviously, if you're doing an oral exam, but this is about written exam. So if you've got je me suis rendu compte, where's the auxiliary in that sentence? Je me suis rendu compte. Which is the auxiliary?
Suis.
Good girl. So if I asked you to make it I had realized, so if you've got je suis parti and you made it I had left, what would you change je suis to? You change it to
J'étais.
Good, j'étais parti. How do you say so what are you changing je me suis to then if you're saying I had realized?
Je m'étais.
That's it. For those of you that have joined us, this is how to get foundation up into higher. Okay, I'm sorry if you think it's a bit difficult, but this is people that want A stars. Obviously, you can watch this if you're just doing exams anyway, or just general speaking, but this is about people that want to really do well at GCSE. So I had realized, je m'étais rendu compte. Now, when we deal with nots, this is the final thing I want to do. When we deal with nots and this kind of thing, we put, what is not? It's an adverb. So pas, well, bien, mal, all these adverbs, they go after the first verb. Say for me, I speak.
Je parle.
Say I don't speak.
Je ne parle pas.
Say I spoke.
J'ai parlé.
Good. Say I didn't speak.
Je n'ai pas parlé.
Say I'm going to speak. No, say I'm not going to speak.
Je vais parler.
I'm not going to speak.
Je ne vais pas parler.
Great. So how do you say I speak well?
Uh,
Using bien as the word for well.
Je bien.
I spoke well. Adverbs after verb number 1. I spoke well.
J'ai bien parlé.
Great. So that's what you're going to be careful with. So I ate a lot. J'ai beaucoup mangé, not j'ai mangé beaucoup, okay? So if you've got je me suis rendu compte, where's the first verb in je me suis rendu compte?
Suis.
So if you're putting the adverb after verb number 1, how do you say I didn't realize?
Je ne suis pas rendu compte.
Don't do ne for the minute. Just put je me suis and just put the word pas in first. So je me suis rendu compte, put the pas in there.
Je me suis pas rendu compte.
Listen to how your rhythm was brilliant. Lovely, really good job. Your rhythm was brilliant because you went je me suis pas rendu compte. The ne will always go after the person doing it. Je ne me suis, yeah, je ne me, that's how you do it.
Okay.
But ne has to be quick. If you're going to use a ne, make it quick. Je ne me suis pas rendu compte. Je me suis pas rendu compte. So if you said I hadn't realized, this will be on the sheet of stuff I recommend for people to take into exams that want A stars. So I hadn't realized, je m'étais pas rendu compte. Yeah. So you're sort of saying, so describe a weekend with your friends, whatever kind of exams. Okay. I hadn't realized that the park was so much fun, or what, you know, this kind of stuff. It's just showing off. Yeah. Good. So I'm going to do another one of these with you, I think. I'm going to ask you to look over the AQA paper. Actually, do you know what? I'm just going to say goodbye for this video. Those of you that want to contact me, I do this. I'm going to be doing this more often over the GCSE and A-level period. I just put my email there again at the bottom. You can contact me for one-on-one tuition anyway, which this young lady's done with me. There you go. Do please click like on the video if you found it useful, and we will try and schedule one again for next Saturday when everybody's free. Or possibly beforehand if people have got exams before then. Great. So thank you. Those of you that joined me, thank you. Email me, let me know your available times, and we'll do another one of these like more than happily. I'm probably going to do one tomorrow, to be honest with you. So if you all email me, let me know what time suits. We'll do that then. I'm now going to say goodbye, and I'm going to say goodbye to my students privately. Brilliant then. So thank you guys. Thank you for your support, and I will speak to you very, very soon. This will be available, and there will also be a written super sheet. Thank you for clicking like, I appreciate it. There will be a written super sheet that will be available about this, which will contain all the great things we need to take into exams with us, like little phrases, things to remember, the poetry past system, the law about the adverbs. It's just a little, I've got the sheet in front of me before I go into an exam. It will help my writing, because this is a written exam video. Okay, guys, more than happy to, anybody that wants private tuition, please contact me, logiclanguagelearning@gmail.com, or WhatsApp, which is 447899732828. Or by all means, we will schedule one of these for tomorrow, more than likely. Okay, I will speak to you soon. I'm now going to go and say goodbye. Can you all just congratulate, can you all just say thank you to the young lady who's been prepared to do this in a public sphere? So can I all just have a nice typed thank you for her, because, you know, she's not done this before. So well done her. So yeah, if you could all just say cheers, a little thank you to her. I'm sure she'd appreciate it when she watches the video, because it's intimidating when you do it for the first time. Okay, guys, speak to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye. Oh, Neville, thank you, Freya. Freya says thank you.